Astralis gets to take a support pick. Renata, Nautilus are the two best supports open. They get to pick one, ban the other. And Renata, amazing champion, love it.
Really, really good. I love watching Renata in-game. I'm interested to see what Jezu and Kabi will be running in that bot lane. We talked a little bit about some of the options into Talia. I think I heard a boo for Orianna. That is a first for me, actually.
Well, you know, I agree with that. Orianna is a fairly boring champion. I mean, you can land a shockwave here and there, but into Talia, I'm not entirely sold, but we'll see if they can step up and make it count.
Now, tell me if you're already seeing some threads for what these team compositions you sort of want to do. We got a couple of piecemeals, but no real like style that I can define just yet. So what would you like to see added to really sort of either of these comps?
So the two strongest AD carries in the game, Kalista and Syria, are both gone. And I think now securing a strong AD carry pick is going to be really important. I think for Astralis in particular, something that I like to see a lot is Draven, but I don't think it fits that well in the team comp. They're a bit too slow, a bit too scaling. Maybe they could go for a team fighting AD carry like Phelios or Jinx. And for SK, on the other hand, I think you have a lot more options in terms of what you want to do and how you want to round out this draft, especially with the jungle pick. Worth noting that Gilius is going to be in a little bit of a tricky position draft-wise here because 6 junglers are gone if we look at both the Viego pick as well as the 5 bans.
I mean, when I look down Gilius's picks this summer, Lee Sin, Volibear, the only ones that are not banned this game. Every other one is either taken away or removed from the pool. And of course, that Jarvan and Vite will be flanked by Xayah as well as the Lulu. You talked about the Jinx and Aphelios. Jezu's played both of them this summer. Kabi's played the Jinx, but not the Aphelios. And I think last weekend, those were kind of the default picks. We saw a number of them as well.
It's worth noting that Aphelios did go 1-7 last week. He did not look too hot in the LEC. But let's see what they pick. They could go support as well. No, it is going to be the Jinx. Get that comfort pick. The team fighting AD carry works really well with the GP and Orianna later. But early game could be a little tricky because they're definitely having a lot of scaling on their side.
Roxer, can I ask you a quick stat question?
All right.
How many games has Kabi won on Jinx this summer?
This entire summer?
Yes.
Oh, I am going to say 1.
0. It's a donut. 2 games played, both of them losses. Ooh! And the reply... Wait, hang on. I want to take a look at some Hecarim stats really quickly because we haven't seen too many of them. And with all the jungle bans, what do you make of the pick?
I think this pick is really interesting. Like I said, there's so many junglers gone at this point that you just have to go to comfort. And I think Hecarim makes a lot of sense here because with the Renata ult, with the Gwen, you have someone who can dive in and who can try to look for the Jinx and the Orianna in the backline. Now, makes a lot of sense for SK to take Aphelios, the two, strong team fighting AD carries, the prior picks after Syria and Kalista are gone. But now I wonder if Astralis is going to pick something that can actually defend this poor Orianna and Jinx who are going to have to survive when all the dive comes in.
Well, what defensive options are available? It's going to be the Tahm Kench.
Makes sense.
I have some stats to back up some of yours as well. Hecarim has been played twice before today. Both of them were wins. Haru has a win on Hecarim. Synkrov has a win on Hecarim against G2.
The one BDS win.
The one BDS win. So this is the 3rd time we're seeing it in summer. Bruxy, you talked a little bit about scaling on the Astralis team fights. A team composition will take some time to build up. What do you make of SK?
I think both of them are going to be in a really good spot scaling-wise. I think all SK's champions scale really well as well. And when looking at these drafts, I could actually get a bit of worried for the play. JNX actually steps up, has Ignite, no flash available.
No.
Xerxes goes for the play. Vizisachi needs to walk forward. They need to fight it together. It's a little bit split. But with that, Vizisachi gets the first blood. Beautiful.
Oh, Berlin! I don't know if you appreciate. Broxer just did play-by-play for first blood. Gilius wants to get a reply. Swing the copter. So this is going to be able to escape with his life for now.
My playcaster is pretty fun, but I am lucky that I have my caller caster Quickshot here by my side. Quickshot, take this one.
Oh, Copy's going to be forced to flash. Jezu and Treat step forward, 200 hit points down to 100. One more, so it does it! Treat picks up the kill from Astralis.
So I think,
hold that thought. Sertuss gets booted backwards. Sertuss has flashed forwards. Threaded volley into auto. Will secure the kill. SK find it and they just punish Sertuss in the river.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I think in general a really smart play by Gilius because he was able to sneak onto the red buff and then look for the real play afterwards. Now we see Treats actually flashing in for the play. Jesu able to follow up and just have to give props to Treats for that because that was really all him. Beautiful support gameplay, beautiful synergy. I remember him as like the control-heavy guy, the guy that slowly sets up his team for success, and I think that's definitely still the case.
Oh, beautiful!
There it is, setting up his team.
Flash shockwave from Dayor.
That was very nice.
Into Xerxes picking up the kill. And remember that hostile takeover. The Herald is now theoretically being challenged. Chachi, he's got the cannon barrage available. 5v5 in the river. Broxer, you called it. You said the fight was coming. Kobe, level 5. Jezu, level 6. Sertuss rides the wall to safety. The onslaught of shadows. Fire those needles, but there's not enough damage. Junghoon now steps forward. Sertuss is caught out. He's going to force the knockback away. Jezu, red, white guns, tears through Dayor. SK pick up the first. Treats gets 6. The hostile takeover lands onto Chachi, but they can't stick to the targets anymore. It's so far just the one. Continuing to throw out the damage. Can Sertuss knock someone back? No, it looks like Chachi was pinned against the wall. In the end of it, just one kill and the Herald stands.
It's just one of those fights where so many small things could have gone differently.
Signal.
Yeah, and to be fair, we're going in.
Weaver's wall pulled a little short. Dayor starts to step backwards. Xerxes and Youngu come from behind. Trees is going to fire out the hostile takeover buys just a few seconds as Xerxes is now looking for the bailout, looking for the handshake between the uprights. Kobe does not find a target. Now Gilius forced to ghost away for his life. They're using their brains as a skill. Maybe a parallel could be drawn. Right now, a parallel is being drawn in the river. Sertuss put the wall down. Sertuss put the wall down. Jezu retreats locked outside. Can't get in just yet, but JNX is doing work. We just talked about the influence and the impact. Chachi forced to flash for his life. The needle, the snip, snip, snip. The double for JNX. Can he go for another? Younghoon's going to jump over the wall.
Dealing with him.
Well, Gilius gets jumped on. The Weaver's wall will separate Astralis. Chachi goes good night. Hostile takeover. Catches onto Dayor. Waiting for the shockwave. No flash available. The zap goes a little wide. So SK, they combine the abilities. The Weaver's wall preventing Astralis from jumping into the fight. We're on an Infernal Rift, fighting for an Infernal Drake. And JNX is stepping in from behind. The onslaught of shadows. Fear's up too. But a gobble, gobble, gobble from Junghoon will keep Dayor alive for now. He still hasn't fired the shockwave. Finally does. Not enough damage. He's down. SK dumpster. Astralis, but Kobe, he manages to pick up a couple before taken down and aced by SK.
That was some impressive counting.
I mean, there's no vision in the jungle. So after catching Chachi, do you say catching Chachi out? Like,
yeah, he was most certainly out of position there. Now we need to look at JNX, who's on the flank. Gilius obviously finds a big angle there, but JNX, he's ready to get onto the backline right away. And just look now how long it takes before he dies. And in the meantime, the rest of SK groups up as 4. Kobe about to get a highlight moment. For a second there, I thought this would be a big play, but he just wasn't able to do it on his own for those 10 seconds. But Gilius obviously ran right at them. They couldn't get out. JNX is now getting caught here in the 1v2. No one is going to be able to follow him in time, but he can almost do it.
Who's catching who? That hallowed mist did so much work.
The horse is back.
Gilius, give it a lick. No unstoppable onslaught though, so he cannot jump. Cannon barrage is available. The tongue lash comes out, 2,500. Teleport coming forward, flash forward. What? Xerxes steals the Baron. Broxer.
While waiting for the moment, and he got to go for it.
Okay. When I'm assuming we'll get a replay. I hope that we do. After we see Chachi now being caught out, gets jumped on by. Oh, who's catching who? Who's catching who? Shockwave. Gonna find its target. Jezu this time caught out. Flame Chomper's down. Moonlight Vigil. Gale Force forward. And the burning Kobe will just about survive. Woo, that was close.
I'm not an expert like you, but I'll do my very best. So right now, look at Sertuss. Look at SK. All they have to do is send some people over to stop him from getting in there. Normally when you do Baron like this, you're telling your team, guys, we need to stop the Baron. We need to stop damage before.
Onslaught shouts, no, it's way too late to the party. JNX is looking for the flank, and that's already a dead pony. Gilius is dropped in the pit. Sertuss goes golden with the hourglass, and JNX is wreaking havoc. Snip, snip, snip. Goodbye, Kobe. JNX goes golden. Sertuss goes mad. In a 4 versus 5. No, screw that. JNX in a 1 versus 4 is going to take the fight. And another game.
Did I say jungle gap? I think it's a top gap if I've ever seen one. JNX is going absolutely beast mode. Solo carrying that fight. There's 30 seconds of time. Kench 35 on Kobe.
They can get an inhib here
It's going to be a close
right?
one. They get an inhib at worst, but I don't think they're going to get more than that. Let's see though. Let's see, because they do
How
push
bold.
relatively quickly.
How bold, how bold, how bold. 3 members of SK pushing into an undefended base. JNX, snip, chucking out those needles. Tower is down. 10 seconds for Yonghoon. 20 for Kobe. I think they're going to push for this. They're going to look for a Nexus turret. SK, can they close up before anybody even spawns? My word. JNX puts SK in the backpack. The second Nexus turret will fall.
They're gonna make
the
it, Trevor.
Nexus
They're
is
gonna
being
bring it home.
focused, and SK